I am Joe Hart, and this is The Circuit, your daily source of movie news. Today we have a special feature on the upcoming film, The Wayfinders. This movie is about the end of the Great Pause, a time in ancient Polynesia when islands stopped being conquered. It is still unknown why the Great Pause occurred, but eventually this period ended due to the Tui Tonga Empire beginning the conquest of Polynesia. Let's take a look at our exclusive trailer. In a world unbounded by the laws of Western ideals, there lives the one boy who can end the Great Pause. Malietoa.
Malietoa, you shouldn't go out alone. You know what happened the last time people went beyond the reef.
But what if there's more than just this island?
There's nothing. It's just us and the ocean.
I have to leave.
No! Don't try this!
I must. To save us all. I have returned from across the sea. Out there are other islands. Other people too. The Samoans are fast approaching. Our only chance is to stand and fight. Hello, Joe Hart again, and I'm now sitting down with Timothy Hall to talk about his upcoming movie, The Wayfinders. He's the director, producer, and screenwriter of this truly phenomenal film. So, Timothy, thank you for being here. This is a story about ancient Polynesia, right?
Yes.
Why did you choose that region of the world for this movie?
When I was young, I always dreamed of sailing across the ocean, conquering island after island, always expanding. This is how the ancient Polynesians lived, so it just made sense to me. That was truly my dream behind this movie. I really wanted to make my childhood dreams become a reality. This movie shows the power of the young mind and how children can make a real difference in the world. Success from the people you least expect to have it always makes for a compelling story.
How did you come up with the storyline for this film?
The idea for this movie came about when I was at dinner with my friend from Samoa. She told me all about her family and early life, and it sparked my interest. I traveled with her to Samoa and learned all about her hometown and culture.
How's this trip changed your perspective on Polynesian lifestyles?
By going on this trip, I learned a tremendous amount about Polynesia. When I visited Samoa, we went directly to my friend's fale, which is basically her family's house. We sat on the floor and covered our outstretched legs with a mat, as to not be disrespectful. After we ate, we went to the Sa, a village-wide prayer time. This trip was just a phenomenal experience that was very eye-opening for me. I have learned so much through the making of this movie, and I am very grateful to have been a part of this team.
Thank you so much for speaking with me today. This has been Timothy Hall, director of the upcoming film, The Wayfinders. So, next I will be talking with Bonnie Evans. She's the choreographer who worked on the action sequences and the use of historical artifacts throughout the movie. Bonnie, what was the most interesting weapon you got to work with?
I would say the uli masao. It looks like a canoe paddle or a spear that had a sharpened edge. When the Tongans were not in times of war, these spears were decorated with spectacularly ornate paintings and drawings.
In the movie, I noticed some incredible scenes highlighting this weapon. How would it have been used during the Tongan time?
Ironically, this weapon wasn't used for fighting. Its primary function was to bring peace, not to break it. Most wars between the Tongans and other groups of people were ended with this spear. This ancient use is reflected in all of the scenes throughout the movie.
Are there any fun facts about Tongan weaponry you think the audience would want to know?
One of the most commonly shown weapons in this movie is the Ta Fesalafai. This is the symbol of the Samoan deity Nafanua and was her most used weapon in combat.
Wow, that was fascinating. I mean, I never knew what we would think of as a weapon had many uses. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me. Finally, I'm privileged to be here with Martha Harrison. Welcome.
Thanks, Joe. I am so happy to be able to promote this movie.
Martha, what was your role in making this movie?
Well, I was the historian on the set of The Wayfinders, and I was called in because of my position in the Polynesian Voyaging Society, the PVS, to help with maritime historical accuracy. As a part of this incredible group, I helped use traditional wayfinding methods to sail a voyaging canoe from Hawaii to Tahiti and back. I used this expertise to help the sailing scenes be as accurate as possible.
Could you tell the audience a little more about the expansion of the Tonga Empire? Specifically, where did they expand to, and how did they cover the distance so efficiently?
Well, the Tongans expanded because they wanted to set up a tributary system throughout Polynesia. To reach the other islands, they used wayfinding, a traditional Polynesian navigational technique that is now almost extinct. When I was helping the PVS recreate the canoe, we asked as many people native to Polynesia about wayfinding and how to use the techniques.
Just for our audience, why is the expansion of the Tonga Empire historically significant?
As with any expansion, it had positive and negative effects. One important positive effect was the expansion of new technology to many of the Polynesian islands that were lacking it. The region was also unified by the empire, giving the area more common background. Basically, they were under one rule, so they all became more like each other. Something that wasn't great about this was the loss of traditional values and practices in conquered areas.
Thanks for sitting down with me today to talk about the new movie The Wayfinders, and thanks to everyone who helped out, and thanks to everyone who watched today's episode. You can catch our next segment of The Circuit tomorrow at 11 a.m. Goodbye.